Testing, hot outbound call. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to hear?
Are you ready?
Make the approach. Plant your feet firmly in the ground. Head down. Eyes on the ball. Relax. That's it. Get your left arm straight. Your right arm straight. Relax. Lower your right shoulder. Go!
The Honeymooners Podcast, the only podcast that is all about the greatest show of all time, with the stars, Joe Conti and Louis Fatts.
Welcome, fellow raccoons and members of the Women's Auxiliary. What's happening, all you Hurricanes, Bensonhurst Bombers, and all you full-grown nuts of the week of the world? You are listening to the Honeymooners Podcast with me, Joe Conti, and my pal Louis Fatts.
But I know one thing. If I did find the right one and she did all those things for me, I know I would do all I could to make her happy. That was my best Eastern European Hispanic accent.
Very, very good. Very
Thank
good.
you. Gracias.
The only podcast all about the greatest show of all time. We record in the Non-Productive Studios at 328 Chauncey Street in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, a.k.a. Clifton, New Jersey. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts, and if you're on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating and leave a positive review because we're going to read them.
Yep.
And our home base, if you don't do the podcasting, like if you have relatives or friends that don't do the podcast and they just go on the internet, it's non-productive.com/honeymooners. You can get all the episodes on there. Don't forget to like our Honeymooners Podcast Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter, which is at Honeymooner1, and support us through Patreon. Go to our website and go to any of the episodes, click on it, and you can find the information for a Patreon, and you can leave a usual buck. Absolutely.
Usual buck.
And if you want to leave us a voicemail, call 240-442-2635. And don't forget, if you want to email us at
bangzoom1956@gmail.
What's going on, Lou?
Joe, number 87.
Yes,
it should be about 93.
Yeah. It's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah. With the holidays. And,
holidays.
And Louis got sick, and then I got sick, and it was just been so crazy.
Yeah.
But and now this should have been the episode right before the New Year.
New Year, yeah. So,
but we didn't get to it.
Thank God. I feel like I've never even been in here.
I don't even remember how to.
I really other thing to go.
Anyway, we have all the material written already.
We have 87. Got a couple 87s. I'm not going to go too crazy on this.
Mm-hmm.
We have Gronk, of course, 87.
Of course.
Joe loving that.
Yeah.
We have Dave Casper.
Dave Casper for the Raiders.
Raider, 87. And Willie Davis, Green Bay Packer.
Willie Davis.
Yes.
Was it tight end?
Defensive end.
Oh,
Okay, played with the Lombardi Packers.
Oh, very nice.
Yep.
Very nice.
That's our 87. So now we're going to get right into the show because we got a lot and we forgot how to do the show. So
yeah, it's been a while. So first of all, before we get started, because this is a different show that we're doing today, we want to first of all tell you about our sponsor. You all know it's Silk City Hot Sauce, and it's our pal Jeff Kingfish Levinsky, and it's our one and only sponsor. So go to SilkCityHotSauce.com. Get yourself some great homemade hot sauce, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm telling you, it's so tasty.
There you are. Roll that around your mouth.
We're going to have to do this a little bit. And I'm telling you, it's not just delicious.
It's the most delicious you've ever tasted
It
in your
is
life.
the most delicious
In your
you've
life.
ever tasted.
In your life. Remember, all those delicious things you tasted, this is the most in your life.
In your life, absolutely. So what you do is go to SilkCityHotSauce.com. Get yourself some great hot sauce. And then at the end, when you're about to purchase your hot sauce, you put RX in the coupon code.
RX.
Just like that. That's all you got to do. You just got to put
RX
in the coupon code. And you'll get yourself a 15% percentage off of your order. And
To be clear about that.
you have to get clear about that, exactly. And don't worry about if you get too many hot sauces. If you're,
I've been putting on a little weight lately.
don't worry about it. It's all healthy. It's good for you. It's better than.
I don't want either. I'll have a small cup of black
All
coffee.
right, it's been a while. So we're just having fun.
We're throwing everything at you here.
Yes, exactly.
Making up for lost time.
Yes, exactly. Because we're trying to do a show.
Do a show.
I'm sorry, sir. I couldn't think of the word.
So go to SoakCityHotSauce.com and get yourself some great homemade hot sauce. All right.
Can't hurt you.
So, this episode, this is our episode where we didn't do a Christmas episode.
No, we didn't do
year.
a Christmas episode this year.
So what we're doing is we are doing a year in review of 2021. Okay. So instead of doing we've done the Christmas episode over twice already. So we said, you know what? We have over 20 different clips that we're going to play for you from throughout the year. And what we're going to do is we're going to, tell you what the clip is and play it, and then we'll discuss it a very little bit. This is probably going to be a 2-hour episode. All right, people? So all of you guys that say, oh, the show's too short, here you go. Here's your long episode, all right? Because we got
roll that around your mouth.
So what we're going to do
is just like a subway ride. You meet her.
Yeah. Be there an hour and a half. An hour and a half. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off from the very beginning of 2021. Okay?
Yeah.
And in 2021, what we did was we started off with an episode where we were talking about our favorite props.
Yes.
Our top
props. Yep.
All right. And here is that piece from that episode 55, our first one of the year from 2021. And this is us talking about our top props. And here we go. Louis came up with a great idea.
Yeah.
For us to list our top 5. Go ahead.
Okay, here's the list. Me on my list. And this is an audience participation one too, Joe. This is big. Everybody, I wanted people to write in.
Either email or put it on the Facebook page.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So this is kind of tough to narrow it down to 5.
Yeah.
Top
very tough.
5 props you would love to own from the show. Now, you can't use Ralph's bus driver uniform, and you cannot use Ed Norton's hat. Because everybody knows if you had one thing to pick, you would say, I want Ed Norton's hat.
Or the bus driver.
Bus driver's uniform. So leave those 2 out. Now, any prop, as ridiculous as it is, there's no right and wrong answer here. This is all you. It's all personal. So you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
Do you want to do you have it in order?
Well, it's really not in order.
It's not.
Right? It's just five random. Not random. There's 5 things I like best. Not in order. I like one better than the other.
Right.
But you want me to go, or you want to go? Yeah, go.
Okay, go.
You're on here.
You're on here. Number 1, Ralph's lunchbox. You can't.
I can't believe it. That's my number 1. Because we didn't show each other these.
No.
Because we don't want to ruin our spontaneity.
No, ruining the spontaneity.
We never do this.
All right. Number 2, the raccoon hat.
Okay, I don't have that. Okay.
Number 3, the list.
Oh, I know you love. Oh, wow, I don't have that.
To have that original thing
written out.
Because then you can actually put it on your wall.
Yeah.
That would be...
Oh, I didn't even think of that. See,
goosebumps. Yeah. I got goosebumps, Lou.
All right.
I'm mentally ill. I got goosebumps for a list from 65 years ago. Norton's work mask.
Oh, okay.
That crazy costume.
Yes.
The work mask.
Yes, it's a gas mask, actually. It's actually like a World War I gas mask.
A gas mask.
Yeah.
Maybe with the waiters. And all that. And my 5th one is Ralph's costume. The Man from Space.
Oh, the Man from Space. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, those are good ones.
Crazy. And I know I kind of kept it with them too. I didn't go with any other characters, but that was like that's what.
But Joe, you narrowed it down. You could go on this list like 40 things if you really want. There's so many props and so many things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Go ahead. I'm interested in hearing.
All right. Now we know my 1 was Ralph's lunchbox.
Correct.
My number 2, the Happy Handy Housewife Helper.
That was one I wanted to do, and I changed it. I changed it to Norton's work mask. It was in between. I was going back and forth with those 2. The handy helper,
happy handy housewife helper. My third
Very
one.
good.
The 2000 matchsticks glued together. The box.
The
hairpin box.
The hairpin.
With the secret door.
The secret door. To another dimension. to
All right.
1149 Park
Okay,
Street.
here we go. My fourth one.
Fourth one.
The funny money suitcase.
And also, that's the same suitcase where
to,
he's going.
No, to the trim.
That's a great one. That shiny with the.
It's got like, that's supposed to be old, so they put like this, like.
Yeah, like polish
Yeah,
on it.
polish,
Like shoe polish.
to make it look old.
That would be awesome.
Now.
And that truly was a prop, by the way.
Yeah, that is a prop.
Yeah,
okay,
it's
now, this one is so off the wall that you're going to say, what?
My list was on the wall.
Okay, your list was on the list. This wasn't on the list on your. Listen to this one. Johnny Bennett's baseball glove.
You're insane. You're insane.
Johnny, because I'm a baseball. You know, I'm a baseball, and I collect baseball gloves. I collect some baseball gloves. I'm not a wacko collector, but I have a couple. And every time I see that, I say, I want that glove. Johnny Bennett's baseball glove.
Dude, you know what? There's two reasons why. Number one, it's the show.
Yes.
And number two, it's a baseball glove from 1955.
Yes.
So that would have two reasons for you to want to have it.
Yep.
That's you're mentally ill.
Yeah, thank you.
And brilliant.
Thank
that
you.
was
It's a
brilliant.
fine line between,
Yes.
between being a genius and a nut.
And a nut. And you
I'm on that
stayed
line
with
right
that.
now.
You're teetering
I'm
on
teetering
that line. Wow. His glove.
Johnny Bennett's baseball glove. And like you said, like you said things I didn't even think of. The list, I did not even think of that.
Dude, the glove is unbelievable. The housewife thing.
Yeah, the handy housewife happy. I just want to see what that looked like.
I know. To actually see what it actually looked like. Because you don't see it up too close.
No, you don't. You don't. It's just like something that the prop man put together, glued a couple pieces.
like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He didn't do a too good job with it either because the thing went, the spearfishing thing fell off. So there's things like that. And I didn't even think of the costume, Ralph's costume.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of it. I was thinking of things like that dish that's on the bureau. It's like that piece under the top, right above the top hand left hand drawer. Oh, that thing that's always out. It's like a candy dish.
Yeah.
Or a flower vase
they
with
never
no
put
flowers
anything
in it.
Yeah. Right. Oh wow,
that's another great prop.
Yeah, we didn't.
The ice box.
We didn't even think of any of the furniture.
The front. I'm saying the ice box.
Yeah, the ice box, the table,
everything.
Which our sponsor had one of the later ones.
Right, the later version. Yep.
Kingfish Levinsky had that.
Yep.
But there's
so many. That's why I said
we're gonna get
some
great
good ones. So please, people, please.
Even if they match some of ours,
it don't matter. It's your favorite. Your favorite. Like me and Joe had a favorite. We didn't know. We didn't compare notes before the show. We never do.
No,
we never do.
Absolutely
and
not.
Both of them are first on the list. Ralph's lunchbox. So we just please participate.
Yes,
we know as you're hearing this, you're saying, "Wait a minute, this, and the other
absolutely."
Thing. So,
yeah.
Oh, this is great. I can't wait to hear the response.
It's going to be great. All right, and we're back live, sort of recording 87. All right.
That's the first time me and Joe ever listened to any part of our episode
True.
together.
We've
never listened.
And then we talked about the Mets.
We
weren't even listening.
About Buck Showalter.
We're talking about Buck Showalter. All right, so that was from the first episode number 55, and that was us talking about our top props. Okay, now our next clip is from episode 58. And that was when we had the listeners, we asked the listeners to come up with questions that Andre must have asked Alice. Because remember when she goes, he was asking me some questions. Yeah. And then, so we decided we'll give that to the listeners and say, what kind of questions do you think?
You're Andre.
Yes, you're Andre. What kind of questions would you ask Alice? And boy, did you guys come up with some doozies. All right? And here it is from episode 58, questions from Andre to Alice from you guys. Here we go. How do we want to start off? We want to start off with last week. We did the bit, and we basically didn't do a bit. We just said, hey.
Oh, no, you just put it out there, right, Joe?
We put it out there, said, hey, does anybody have any good questions for when Alice was telling Trixie that Andre here. Saw her shopping, asked her a few questions, and now is redecorating her place.
We made you be Andre.
Yes.
Saying, if you were Andre, what would you ask Alex?
Yeah, and we got a few guys.
Good responses.
A couple of good responses. All right. First, I think we got one. Here's one. This is a funny question from Ira. This is one of the questions they would ask. Would you like to stay with 3 kitchen chairs, or do you want 4? Like the rest of the normal world has. It's very funny.
That's a good one.
That's a good one from Ira. Pete Apruzese. He's got questions. What color are your walls? Do you want your drapes to match? How long have you lived there? And do you have a drawer you could stash my glove in? Yes. Pete gave a couple good ones. And then we have, here it is, Kevin. Kevin, how do you say Kevin's last name? It's Hugis. Something like that. Kevin H. We know.
He's a regular.
Kevin did a little bit more than question. He kind of he pulled an old gag out and redid it. He repurposed an old joke, as they say.
Yes.
Here we go. So Andre sees Alice shopping for fabric. He asks her, "Are you looking for something to match your rugs?" She says, "We haven't got any rugs." "Are you going to replace your drapes?" She says, "We don't have any drapes." He asks her, "Are you going to go to upholster some furniture?" She says, "We haven't got any unupholstered furniture. Just a vacuum cleaner from Dowser's that doesn't work. We've got a sink, a stove, an icebox, a dresser in the kitchen, and 4 walls. Not to mention a parrot, a closet full of handy housewife helpers, and everything else fits in one drawer." He said, "She's the winner."
She's the winner. Great one.
That's
great how he combined that.
Yes, absolutely. And we're back. All right, we're back live. That was absolutely
great. Kevin
fantastic.
did a great job.
You guys were killing it. Absolutely killing it. All right. In the same episode 58, this is the first time we got a voicemail from a couple that ended up being a very, very important part of this year, for sure.
Oh, God, yeah. It was a highlight.
Absolutely. It was definitely a highlight of this year and a highlight of the whole podcast.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
All right. So this is first a guy leaving us a voicemail, and you'll know who they are once we play it. Here we go. Why is that not working? Unless that's Anthony, too.
It's a good one.
It's awesome.
Take my word for it.
Oh, yeah, here it is. Take our word for it. Here we go.
Hey, Louie and Joe. Mark Cerrone from Dumont, New Jersey. Just wanted to thank you for replying to my email, letting you know how much I enjoyed the show, and that my wife's grandfather was actually in the Bensonhurst Farmer episode. He was the gentleman who says, "Hey, get a load of fatso there." You made her day by replying, and since I'm behind on the episodes, I just listened to number 19, where you reviewed the Bensonhurst Farmer, and you actually mentioned him by name, Michael O'Dowell. And again, you made her and her family's day. Keep up the great work. I'm going to tell my friend Harvey all about the show and our ex.
All right, we're back. All right. So, of course, that is Mark Cerrone and his wife, Doreen. That was his. This is the first time we're hearing that the Mike O'Dowd's granddaughter is Doreen, who listens to the show. And we made her day.
Made her day.
Which is ridiculous. But so now we get to the same episode, right? And that is 3. Now we're going, it's a little confusing here. And this is us. And I think this is me requesting them to do something. Yeah. And here we go. Too bad we couldn't get in touch with him. Like, hey, you think you can get your wife to call in and leave get a lot of fatso there, just for posturing, you know what I mean? See if it's in the blood, you know what I mean? Hey, get a little fatso there. All right, we're back, and that was us saying, why can't we get them to do that?
Yeah, it was a brilliant idea.
How cool is that, right? So we go to the next one. And this was somewhat of a response.
Hey, Louie and Joe, it's Mark Cerrone again. I just heard the episode where you requested my wife call in and repeat her grandfather's famous line from the Bensonhurst Bomber. So, without further ado, live from Kelsey's gym, here's Doreen.
Hi, guys. This is Doreen Cerrone, Michael Dowd's granddaughter. I just wanted to thank you for keeping his memory alive, and I really enjoyed the show. And this is for you. Hey, get a load of fatso there.
Oh, she was beautiful.
Great.
She did it great.
She did it great.
She did it delivery. She did it. It's in the blood.
Oh man,
it's in the Irish blood.
God, the DNA.
She probably was a bully in high school herself. But she did it so great. It was nice because it was a nice thing to say.
Yes.
Like that we're keeping the memory of her grandfather alive. And then when I first heard it, I'm like, please, hopefully she doesn't do it like, hey, get a little fatso over there.
Yeah, she did it great.
She hammered it. Hey, get a little fatso there. Doreen, thank you.
Thank you, Doreen, so much. And Mark, thank you.
You guys are the best.
You guys are great.
We totally appreciate it, man. It's something that only the Honeymooners universe would really appreciate.
Yes.
But thank you. You guys are great. And stop calling us, okay? No. Obviously, I'm kidding. All right, we're back. And that, of course, was the beginning with Doreen giving us a little taste.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we get into episode number 60. And this was just something quick. And this was a certain special person with a flub. Because, we're all about flubs.
Oh, God, yeah.
And this was a special flub. And here it is from episode 60.
And now, the Honeymooners podcast presents
It's not in the top hand, drink and draw!
the Flub of the Week.
All right.
This sounds good. It's
Great
good to be back.
The great flub of the week. Absolutely. Now, the first flub is, I think, Lou does not know about this flub.
I don't know.
I told him, I said it's part of my spontaneity, and it's a special flub by a special person. And this is a two-part flub, and the second one. So it's three flubs.
Oh,
really.
okay. Oh, so the first one that I don't know about is a two-part.
It's kind of a two-part.
Okay, great.
You'll see.
Right,
I'm being very cryptic here, but you'll understand what I'm saying when you hear the flub from a very special person. Here we go. Subscribe to the show where you get your podcasts, and if you're on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating and leave a positive review. Don't forget to give us a phone call if you want to call us and leave a voicemail. Don't forget to give us a phone call.
If we find out you got a phone call,
yes,
we want to use your phone.
Yes, so that is the initial flub, right? My initial flub with me with the phone call, right? And of course, that would be also. I thought and that would be this one.
First thing you know, the neighbors find out I got a phone call, and they're coming in here, sponging on me. Can I call this one up? Can I call that one up?
See, Joe, you threw Ralph off on that when you said phone call.
I said, yeah, Ralph threw me off.
No, you threw him
Did
off.
I throw him
You
off
threw
on
him
that?
off. Yeah, you said it first.
Because I don't know. 1955 or 2020. But here's mine again. Here's my flub. Subscribe to the show where you get your podcasts. And if you're on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating and leave a positive review. Don't forget to give us a phone call if you want to call us and leave a voicemail. Now, does that actually grammatically make sense?
I think it
give
does.
Us a phone call.
But
Nobody says that.
give us a phone. It's like give us a call.
Give us a call.
The phone is like understood.
It's understood.
It's understood.
Right? I don't care. It's still a flub on my part.
Because it just
sounds
awful.
Stupid.
So we're gonna put it down. It's
How
correct.
could you be so stupid, Conte?
That ought not to be too hard.
Yes. All right, we're back. That ought not to be too hard. Oh, what? That is just so funny. So that was us doing our little flub because we obviously are not perfect. We're close.
We're
close to it. So now here is episode 61. This is the next one, and this is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the voicemail of the year. And this is from episode number 61.
61.
And here we go. So, we've had unique flubs that
Yes.
were not actually
From the Honeymooners.
from the actual show. Well, this is in the same vein.
Yes, go.
All right, here we go.
Hey, Louie and Joe, it's Mark and Doreen. Per Louie's request, we're going to play out the rest of her grandfather's scene in the Bronx Bomber. Here goes nothing. Hey, what are you doing?
Out of my way, buddy. Hey, get a load of fatso there.
Just a moment. What did you say?
I said, get a load of fatso there. Want to make something out of it?
I certainly do. And let that be a lesson to you.
So you're saying to us, you're saying to yourself, well, why are you playing that when it comes to a flub?
Yeah.
And this next voicemail will explain it.
Hey, Louie and Joe, it's Mark and Doreen. Like Jackie Gleason, I don't rehearse, so I messed up the first one. So we're going to try to play out the scene of the Bensonhurst Farmer. Here goes nothing. Hey, what are you doing?
Out of my way, buddy. Hey, get a load of fatso there.
Just a moment. What did you say?
I said, get a load of fatso there. Want to make something out of it?
I certainly do. And let that be a lesson to you.
Oh, man.
Beautiful.
Oh, my
absolute
God.
perfection.
Oh, my
Oh my God! I
you
brought tears to my eyes.
I got tears in my eyes right now. You couldn't do that any better.
Couldn't do it any
than
better.
They just did that.
They did it better.
Oh, my.
They couldn't have done it any better. And then the
God.
fact that it's Mike O'Dowd's granddaughter.
Yes.
Who, let me tell you something. She shines over her husband.
Oh, yeah. But,
Her get a lot of fat soda is so funny. All right, we're back. Back live, and that, of course, was to me unequivocally the voicemail of the year.
Yeah, there's no competition.
Not even a competition.
Yeah, not even a competition.
And you know what's funny? I never realized it, but I always wondered. I'm like, why did he say he did it? He made a mistake, right?
Maybe they did it, and he made a mistake when they were practicing, or
No. What it was in the first voicemail, and it's not even really a mistake. He said, "This is from the Bronx Bomber."
Oh, that's what he said. Okay,
That's what he said.
All right.
So they did it again
Yeah,
just because he said the Bronx Bomber instead of the Bensonhurst Bomber. I always wondered because it was perfect
Yeah,
both
like,
ways.
yeah.
I never understood that, but
Well, there
of
it is.
course,
But-
that is from
and that's the Mark and Doreen voicemail of the year.
absolutely.
Oh,
it was
my God.
absolutely fantastic.
That don't get you going.
Yeah. I
Nothing
mean, if
well.
that doesn't make you say, what a cool thing this podcast is,
Yeah.
at the very least, just that in itself
Yep.
makes you go, this was all
Worth
worth
it. Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
All right. So now we're going to get into the next episode, which is episode 62. This was a pretty loaded episode. But this first part is pretty short, and this was... I think it'll be explained to us by the clip itself on where we got the information, and it's from a very interesting name of an institute, and here it is from episode 62. The second thing, we had our pal, the great Bibster, Bibbs,
Brother Bibbs.
Brother Bibbs. He sent me an email, and he had told me that there is a Cramden Institute. Right? It's like I'm like, wait a minute, Cramden Institute, and it's providing technology, tools, and training to bridge the digital divide. And the cover, it's got this cute little black kid in front of a computer, and I'm like, get a computer, donate a computer, volunteer. I'm like, what is this? And he, in his email, it's funny because he says, because it came out, it's Cramden, spelled exactly Cramden, but the two guys that created it is named Ned and Mark, and they spelled it backwards. NEDMARK, backwards is Cramden. So either of these two were huge fans of the Honeymooners, or complete blithering idiots to not know that this is Ralph Cramden. And even Bibb said, he goes, how do they not know that most people aren't going to take this seriously?
Like the Cramden Institute. Like you would think, wow, it's like a museum or something.
With the table.
And the bus drivers.
The horse with the clock in its stomach.
Everything there.
And it's computers.
Named after a guy who didn't even have a telephone.
A guy who was waiting for 3D television back in 1955.
Wallpaper that glow in the dark.
But yeah, look it up. It's interesting just to see. Cramden Institute. And it's all about providing technology tools. And I don't know why we're doing a commercial.
Yeah, really. Maybe they should be a sponsor. Maybe they'll give us 15% off. Computer.
Put RX in the top of the computer to get yourself a free computer. All right, we're back. Back live.
I forgot about it.
Oh, my God. How funny is that?
Let me say something right now. Joe put this whole thing together. So
this is all, you're just hearing this now.
I'm just hearing this now.
What
Joe did this all by himself, so I'm hearing these just like you guys.
Right. Yeah, you don't know what is
and I don't know, so I forgot a lot of these things, like the Cramden. If you think, I would have never thought of this. I thought,
yeah.
You don't realize how much you forget.
I know.
I always thought like you wouldn't forget. But you do forget.
You do.
You just do.
You get reminded.
You're reminded, but I would say for the most part, you do forget what you did during these podcasts.
Dude, we've done 86 episodes.
86 of them. Wow.
So, we kind of figured it out. And average, you could sit there and say, all right, 30 minutes each.
Yeah.
And
a little more.
Some for more.
40, 45.
You're talking about 50 hours worth of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like there's no way we're going to remember all that. And that's how painful this was for me, because I had to go through and listen to all of them. And I don't know if you guys all know how much I hate listening to my own voice.
Loves his own voice.
Yes. So that part of it. So I don't want to hear anybody complain. This I did for you, all right?
For you.
You. All right. Let's get on to, it's still from episode 62. And this, I don't know how long this is, but I know it's absolutely worth it, because this was us going gaga over Mrs. Manicotti.
Oh.
Listen to this. This is 3 minutes. Okay.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Well, when we watched it, we, again, were just mesmerized by the great Angelina Manicotti.
God. Cannot take my eyes off.
Can't take off it.
She's
It's like if Raquel Welch was in the scene,
I wouldn't even notice
it.
I wouldn't even notice it.
I wouldn't even notice it. Be like, who's that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at Angelina, please.
Yeah, like,
and it ain't Angelina Jolie. It's Angelina Manicotti.
And we were also discussed this while we were watching and setting up our scene here.
Right.
Was that how she's front and center?
Yes.
Because there's a time actually when Alice goes behind her, as if to say, "This is your scene."
Yeah.
And whoever put her there front and center, because she's a funny character.
Oh,
because she's older than her. Well, she could be. I don't know about the other lady, but the Mrs. Simpson / Stevens, whoever she is, she's the older lady. She's the immigrant, and she's heavy.
Yes.
So
she's a heavier,
right. And it just makes it funny. And her moves are. Oh my God!
She's like the Danny Terrio.
Yeah, Danny Terrio of Mambo.
And she's right in the middle, because you have the two on the right.
Yes.
Who.
We don't.
They put her there because they're
just to fill up. Yeah, and exactly. They were overdoing it.
Then you have Angelina in the middle, and then you have Trixie and Alice. So she is secured right in the middle.
She's the attention
with Carlos kind of
going back and forth.
Going back and forth. But yes, and once you recognize how funny she is to watch, you don't see anything else.
Yeah,
and like you said, even Audrey Meadows stepped back. Because her and Joyce Randolph.
Yeah, they actually know. I mean, Audrey Meadows is a dancer too. She knew,
and they're beautiful women.
They know what they know how to dance.
To step back, because you're like, let this woman shine.
This is the comedy of this scene. It's a physical scene. Like, if Audrey Meadows is dancing in front of it, nobody's going to think anything of it. No, she knows how to dance.
She was actually dancing well.
Yeah, she knows how to dance.
Yeah.
So they gave the scene to Angelina. And if you watch it again, please, just don't take your eyes
off her.
Mrs. Manicotti.
Yeah.
Please don't. Please don't.
throughout the whole thing. Up until the time, from the moment that the way the scene starts, it's like black and it kind of crescendos up, and from the moment you see her, don't take your eyes off her. Don't take your eyes off her. Till she gets thrown out. Right. Don't take your eyes off her. My age. You see, oh man. Oh my God. Yeah, so it just of course you genius. That was genius. Oh, whoever thought to put her there, that was genius. Absolutely. And what's great was because that also helps with Mr. Manicotti to make his one and done. And great line. Yes. You know, make dishes all over, throw the dishes off the table. Off the table. Yes. And we're back. All right, back. This was me and Louie. We were admiring how we were able to bring this to the forefront. Yeah. To sit there, because when I was recording this and I'm listening, I listened to this. I'm like, this is going to be great. And I actually went home and I watched that scene, and I could not take my eyes off her. You can't. You can't. And if you do, shame on you. Because when you think about it, there's nothing else to be seen in that scene. Correct. You don't need to look at Trixie. You don't need to look at Alice. No, because they were actually dancing very nice. And the other girls were just there. They were filler. Like I said, they're overdoing it to be like awkward and of course, just out of rhythm and the whole bit, and so that focuses on her. Right. And absolutely. Because pretty much all there is her and Ralph. Yeah. There's Ralph's reaction and then her reaction to his reaction. Yes. Yeah. Oh. One of the best scenes in the whole series. I got to tell you. It is. It absolutely is. All right. So now, through episode 62, we go flying to the next episode, which was episode 63. And this is all about peas and carrots. Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, yeah. So, I forgot about that. Yeah. Lou, he forgot about that too. This was all about peas and carrots. All right, here we go. I don't even know if we call this an observation. Yeah, me and Louie have been talking about this for a while. Yeah. And it's from Here Comes the Bride. And it's when Ralph devises his plan about pretending to be the bad guy, the head of the house, and do this and do that. But we always notice this one thing, and you all know what happened. And he's devising this plan, and here it is.
Well, that part of it's just plain crazy. And we'll admit it's not such a bad idea getting the two of them together here for dinner.
Bet your life it's a good idea, and it'll work. Mark my words. Take it from me.
Just listen to him. Listen to him, will you, Alice? Because a man is king of his castle. A man is boss of the family. I think I know where I heard it, Ralph. The king of the castle. Get out!
What's the matter with you, Ralph? What did you chase him out of here for?
I just don't want him around here, that's all. Now, about tonight. We'll have some roast beef, mashed potatoes, we get some peas and carrots. Yeah. Make some of that gravy.
Excuse me, I just wanted to tell you one thing where I heard that line about king of the castle. I heard it in a Robin Hood motion picture. Richard the Lionhearted said it to Friar Tuck.
Obviously, right? We all know. But here's the thing that I've always noticed. When he's telling her the plan. Yes. Why does he have to tell her what to cook? Yeah, the menu comes up. The menu. All right, here's the plan. Get some roast beef, some peas and carrots, and some of that. And we never know what it is because he goes and makes some of that, and then Norton comes back and interrupts. And we wanted me and Joe to wonder what he's ready to say and make some of that. What? Because probably what it was. He probably had a list of a thing to go, and then whenever he walks in, that's it. He stops it. But maybe he was like, make some of that that whatever. Cake. Yeah, my favorite. Maybe what Carlos
Sanchez could invite him over.
Yeah, or Cortez. But whatever his name is, the favorite Cortez.
Guy.
But it's just funny.
Beef guy.
Like,
Ricardo Cortez.
And now you're all right. You got your idea. It's ready to go. So let's implement it. All right, make sure you get roast beef.
He's like, I'll make sure I'm getting a good meal out of this one. If anything, I'm going to get a good meal.
Yeah,
Maybe
roast beef, mashed potatoes,
that was
peas and carrots.
That's probably like his real intention. Stanley and Agnes are like secondary.
Yeah,
He wants roast beef, potatoes, peas and carrots.
Yeah.
No, some of that.
Yeah, no
whatever.
beets, no beets for your blood. No lettuce for your teeth. But it was just so weird. Like that was all right. The plan. Here we go. Make sure we make some roast beef. Like, what's that got to do with Stanley Saxon and Agnes? Nothing.
Nothing. What you just said was, let's get them over here for dinner. But anyway, okay, but that worked. 'Cause we liked it. We liked it.
Yes, of course. And most of the loons that listen like it too. All right, we're back. I love the fact that we brought up the fact that he had to mention peas and carrots. we go together like I think that's it. Doesn't that Forrest Gump say that we go together like peas and carrots?
I don't.
Him
know.
and Jenny. We went together like peas. No,
don't even know.
I think so. Stole it from Ralph. But anyway, that was us from episode 63. A little bit about about the menu, as Lou called it. So now we're going to get into episode 64, and this was a comment from one of our listeners, and it was basically him commenting on an episode that we seem to be focused on a lot. And believe me, there was no way for me to get any of it because it was all way too much to try to get into this. But you'll know exactly what it is when we play it. It's short. It's less than a minute. And here we go. So one of the guys, one of our regulars, pals, when we were talking about which episodes,
the episodes up and down,
and Mark is a bit of a smarty pants.
Yeah,
he put his comment on our Facebook was, "It wasn't high on my list, but now Trapped has gone up my list." Thanks to Joe and Louie dissecting every frame of that episode. Hence why we changed the name of the podcast to the Trap Podcast, along with those other pesky 38 episodes.
That meaningless 38.
Yes. Mark, our pal Mark S.
Great, Mark.
Thank you. And anybody else still want to chime in, if you don't remember, we talked about which episodes we might have really, really loved at one point, but now they're not as high in our list, or ones that we weren't really high on, but now they are.
Moved up, yeah.
All right, and we're back. And, of course, that's Mark making fun of us because we did so much material on Trapped.
It's like Ralph being slightly overweight.
Yeah.
It was funny part when he said, too, like, it moved up on our list, too.
Yes, absolutely.
Just by doing it. I never realized how great an episode it is.
Yeah. As you said, it's such a great yet flawed episode.
Yeah, it's flawed.
Probably one of the most flawed episodes.
Yeah, I would say also like the
Babysitter. Yep.
Flawed.
Yep.
And this is flawed. Trapped is flawed, and that's what makes it great.
Even better than great.
Better than great. It's the flaws in that. It's just, and I love it now. Love awesome. It.
All right.
Dusty out in that hole.
Thank you.
First one of 2022.
First one of 2022. Exactly. Now we're going to get into episode 65. Let me see how long this one is. This is, it's actually not that long. Okay.
Oh, good.
This is it's a first time we did a new bit.
Okay.
And the bit is, I'll just play it. Here we go.
Because we're into Trapped again, but.
Yeah, really. But it's from Trapped, right.
The guy is great. He's an old-time actor. Yeah. He's played detectives. He's played crooks. He comes in, and he's very Bogartish. You get like that Humphrey Bogart vibe from him.
Yes,
Even the voice.
Yep.
And
Mr. Cramden.
And it's just he's just great. He's just
great. So he either plays the good guy or the bad
guy in movies. He's been like that typecast type guy, in those typical 1930s, 40s.
Look at him. He was a bigger guy.
Yeah, he's
taller than Jackie Gleason.
So he's got overcoat on and a hat. Like they all wore overcoats and hats in those days. I haven't worn overcoats. I haven't worn an overcoat in like 1,000 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
These people always have overcoats.
I just wonder how they did it in the 40s and 50s. Like everybody had hat head, suits, and overcoats. Yeah, nobody had not one person had an Elvis T-shirt on.
That's how they went. That's how they hung out.
That's how everybody hung out. Yeah. That's what made Norton, and we can't get off to, but that's what made Norton so unique looking.
Yeah,
because he didn't wear that.
Yeah, well,
Everybody else did.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Anyway, okay,
I
let's get off on a
digress.
tangent. But that's what's great about it. He's such a great, he's a great actor.
Yeah. And we're back. Okay. So now, of course, you all know we're talking about Ken Lynch.
Oh,
which we're easing you into the year of Ken Lynch. Let's just call it the way it is. All right. Yes, we did a lot of trap stuff, but we did a little trap stuff in 2020 also.
I believe so.
Yes. But this year we started getting into. So this was like the first time we started doing like the one and done type of thing.
Yeah.
And Ken Lynch was the guy. So now we're going to go into episode 66, and now we go into a flub, and this was less of a verbal flub. And when I tell you, when I found this and started listening, I was howling at this. Here we go. This one is about 5 minutes, kids.
Oh, okay, good.
All right. I'll just say.
We can resume our Buck Showalter conversation.
All right, here we go. Here it is.
And now, the Honeymooners podcast presents
It's not in the top hand, draw!
the Flub of the Week.
You know what? We could actually do a show, do our intro, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Suey's number 66. You do your thing. Play that intro and say good night.
Good night, everybody.
That was our episode. 6 minutes of the podcast. Because that is just so funny every single time. And with the music in the background and Joe Fernandez, it's just perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Because I said to Joe, Joe, let's put this, what we're going to play for you. It's basically not a flub. I said, let's put it on the heading of flub.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to hear the intro.
Of course.
Joe, it's okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. We'll stretch it.
Yeah, of
course.
course.
We can do anything we want.
Yeah, so it's really not a flub. But it is from Dial J.
Dial J, yes. Dial J.
And it's with Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson.
And Mr. Johnson is doing his fantastic.
Oh.
He is waxing fantastic.
He is. He is.
Just going through his rant. And Louis noticed something, and it's very subtle. And we'll see if you guys hear it.
See if
all right?
Feel well, but we got unexpected company. Trixie's folks came in there for dinner, and we just got to stretch the soup. Come in. Oh, here he is. Our lovely landlord, Mr. Johnson. I knew you'd be up here. Headaches and you go together. Oh, well, I'm certainly happy to see you there, Mr. Johnson. Why don't you send your janitor up to my place and give me some water? I haven't had any water in so long, I'm beginning to see mirages.
Look, you two are pretty good at making complaints, aren't you? Well, let me tell you something. There ain't no janitor. He just quit. And do you know why he quit? He quit on account of you and you. Now, that's the fourth janitor that I've had this year. And they all quit on account of you because you wouldn't give them time to rest. Because you go down them night and day and you make their lives miserable.
We make their lives miserable. Get a load of that.
Now, look, I pay my janitors very well. I give them $150 a month
It's already passed.
rent.
Okay,
And
here,
still
here,
they
here.
quit.
Just like his
They
rent.
wouldn't stay in the same building with you if I paid them $1,000 a month. Now, this is the end.
This is the end.
Tomorrow morning I'm going to see my lawyer, and I'm going to get you out of this building. One way or another, I'm going to get you and you out of this building!
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Johnson.
is the
Don't get
end.
upset. I'm sure that I can straighten this.
This is the end. I love this is the end.
That's great.
All right. Did you catch it? And it's, like I said, it's not a flub.
No, it's not a flub.
But he was like, he basically did his impersonation of a 16-year-old girl laughing because when they do the little snort.
Listen now.
Snorts. All right. See if you can pick it up again. Listen for the snort. All right.
There he is. Our lovely landlord, Mr. Johnson. I knew you'd be up here. Headaches and you go together. Oh, well, I'm certainly happy to see you there, Mr. Johnson. Why don't you send your janitor up to my place and give me some water? I haven't had any water in so long, I'm beginning to see mirages.
Look, you two are pretty good at making complaints, aren't you? Well, let me tell you something. There ain't no janitor. He just quit. And do you know why he quit? He quit on account of you and you. Now, that's the fourth janitor that I've had this year. And they all quit on account of you because you wouldn't give them time to rest, aren't you? Well, let me tell you something. There ain't no janitor. He just quit. And do you know why he quit? He quit on account of you and you. Now, that's the fourth janitor that I've had this year, aren't you? Well, let me tell you something. There ain't no janitor. He just quit. And do you know why he quit? He quit on account of you and you. Now, that's the fourth janitor that I've had this year.
Oh, my God. We've really lost it. Man.
God.
We're having fun at Mr. Johnson's expense because he snorted.
Oh, he snorted. It was great because I would do my opening intro last 2 weeks of Mr. Johnson.
Right.
So I had to play like 1,000 times. You make sure I get every word right.
Yeah, you want to get
it right because there are people out there.
Yeah, you memorize it, right? You don't write it down.
Oh, no. I
would read it. No.
I would never do something like that.
No.
And I know our listeners are listening intently, waiting for us to flub.
Waiting for Louis to flub.
Oh, yeah.
Or snort.
Or snort. And that's how I caught it.
So funny.
That's how I caught it.
And it's this tiny little thing, means nothing. But in our universe, it becomes something now. Yeah. And now, hopefully now, it'll be the Johnson snort. Which might be the name of this episode.
Good, well, one less thing to think about.
Yeah, we find it's the hardest thing is coming up with the title at the end.
So you know what's funny too about this? And we always pick up on things as we're listening to him. He says, when you are good at making complaint. The guy's got no water. Is that a complaint? He's got no water. That's not a complaint. That's an issue.
That's like a human rights violation.
Yeah, really. He should go down to the port of nuts and get something done.
It's a port of nuts. I know. You guys are really good at making complaints, aren't you? All right, we're back.
We're laughing.
What an absolute gem that was
good.
And then, of course, right at the end, I had to leave that in there because you were like, if the guy's got no water.
You're making complaints, aren't you?
A human rights violation. Oh, my God.
Complaint would be like the front door's stuck. It sticks a little bit.
Right. Just being a nudge. You're being a nudge.
Got no water is a complaint.
That's great.
Oh my! This is great for me because I forgot all about all this stuff.
I'm telling you, man. And I'll bet you when the guys send us messages about this after it comes out, they're gonna say, "Dude, I totally forgot about that and all that." So this is actually
they're loyal listeners and they'll remember.
Yeah,
they will remember.
Loyal. They're insane. Okay, so now we're gonna get up to episode 66 and. We got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 7 or 8 more clips. This episode 66, this is the first time we did our ad lib or not to ad lib.
Okay. All right.
Now, the only thing is, just because it's us, because we did not have the intro yet.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have an ad lib or not to ad lib intro. So I figure just for us, I'll just play the intro. Before I have to play the ad lib or not. Because we just have to. So here we go.
Hear ye, verily, hear ye. The Honeymooners podcast now presents Ad Lib or Not an Ad Lib. That is the question.
All right, and now to episode 66.
Player of the week.
Player of the week. Now, this one, we don't have an intro for yet, but we are doing it. It's called To Ad Lib or Not to Ad Lib. That is the question. And which I've seen guys even on our page debating, because there's those things where people who either know either they I've heard people where they say if he rubbed his belly that meant he was about to
I
don't believe any of that.
stuff.
I don't believe any of that
stuff.
But what we can do is debate a line and debate whether it was ad lib or not.
And
the first one,
it's just this is just me and Joe's opinion. It's our opinion.
This is a
and
great
we want
way
you
guys.
Yeah, we want you
Absolutely.
to either agree or disagree.
Yes.
And if you disagree, you better have a pretty good.
Yes, exactly.
Pretty good.
And then you could stop listening to us.
Stop listening. Yeah.
And
the reason.
The reason.
So you better have a good reason.
Yes. The reason. All right. And this is from the $99,000 answer. And here is the line.
I
Jealous McGarity.
Why don't you shut up in here? You driving everybody crazy.
I'm not driving anybody crazy. You're just jealous, that's all. And do you know why you're jealous? Because you know that at this time tomorrow night, my picture will be on the front page of every newspaper in the country.
Well, so will mine. For killing you.
Great line. Great. Fantastic.
Ralph.
Hey, loudmouth, now you woke up my wife.
So one of the storied heroes from last week, Mr. McGarity.
McGarity, yes.
Now we know that line "killing him" was not ad-libbed. No. That was written.
That's written,
but at the end,
because you think a character is not going to have the
cash
authority, to ad-lib.
And of course, you could tell. It's
I mean, they have to stick by
Ralph
the
set it up.
Yeah,
and
perfect,
he delivered it. Fantastic,
I guess
by the way.
Probably only Ralph or Ed has the carte blanche to ad-lib.
To ad-lib,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he slams the door. Alice comes out, and he's like, and he goes barreling over to the door. Now look what you did, loudmouth. You woke up my wife. We don't know.
We don't know because notice, Joe, it's that pause when Alice comes out.
Right.
And he looks at her, and she says to him, Ralph, like she's supposed to say something to him.
Right.
And then, I don't know if something went off in his head, and he makes this line up, and it's the most brilliant line in the entire show.
Yeah, I think it's even more brilliant than spearfishing.
Spearfishing. Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not even close.
Not even close. This beats spearfishing by a mile.
There you go. What do you say? How do you say? There you go, loudmouth.
Now you woke up my wife. And it's
the absurdity of it.
Yes, because
you're playing piano till 3 a.m. every night, but you slamming the door woke up my wife.
Screaming and yelling with Norton.
Well,
and
there's a party going on in my apartment.
So that's what we think.
We think that might have been an ad-lib.
Might have. We're going to say might have. That's a good word.
Yeah,
might have been an ad-lib.
We think it might have been an ad-lib. Either way, it's either a brilliant line written or a brilliant line thought of by the great one.
Great one. I'm praying that it's an ad-lib because it's just so great.
So awesome.
The way he does it. You know what I'm saying?
Can you imagine at that moment in time, in his brain, he went, oh, he woke up my wife, right. Which is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
The notion that was what woke up his wife. Well, you got a guy playing piano in your living room in the kitchen. What am I talking about?
Screaming at him. You're screaming back and forth with him.
Play the piano.
Play the piano. Oh, my God.
So we're under the consensus that it was an ad-lib. We hope it was.
Yes.
All right, we're back. How great is that? What a great ad-lib or not ad-lib. You know what I mean? Because it's not like spearfishing or something so obvious. Yeah. That's what made this bit so great, because Louis finds things that you really never thought to even think if it was an ad-lib. Mm-hmm. And Louis makes a great point about the absurdity of him saying, hey, now, loudmouth, you woke up my wife. And go ahead.
The thing is, he calls him, McGarity, a loudmouth. Or Garrity, actually. Only McGarity to Ralph.
Right, yeah.
But he calls him a loudmouth.
Yes, I know. The kettle calling the pot calling the kettle black.
Right. That's one of the funnier parts of it, too.
That's the other absurdity, not irony, but the part of it that's so absurd. Yeah. Like you're saying, wait a minute, that is what woke up my wife. And he's a loudmouth.
He's a loudmouth. I mean, Ralph is the loudmouth of all loudmouths. And he calls Garrity a loudmouth. And it's dusty on that hall. And I'm still not convinced after all this time if it is or it isn't. So that's good, though.
I know.
That's good.
That's
good. It keeps us in
suspenders. The ones that we know are spearfishing.
I mean, spearfishing to me isn't really funny.
Yeah, I mean,
the audience went crazy over it.
I think they just thought it was great that because something, just like with comedy,
went awry.
Something
went awry.
When something happens and a comic does a lot of crowd work, the audience usually loves that because they feel special because it's happening for them and them only.
Right.
So when they watched that happen, they knew that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So everything from that in that moment was all natural.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they applauded that.
Yeah,
they're
actually laughing and applauding because he even has to pause.
Right.
Because they're laughing and applauding so loud. He can't even say it to Norton. He has to actually say it. And he waits till like it calms down so they can hear him.
Yes.
And then the spearfishing thing is kind of like secondary.
Yeah, of course.
You know, just
it
the
was
thing
the
falling,
idea.
Just the thing falling apart.
It was the idea that Ralph had to say, maybe we can think of something of spearfishing.
Yeah.
It wasn't the line. It was the fact that he actually came up with the line.
Yeah, but I think the funny part is the thing just falling apart.
Yes,
that's what they're really laughing. It fell apart.
Right.
Like this
if you
gadget
think about it,
that they're supposed to be selling.
They're supposed to be selling.
Just fell apart. Obviously, before they started filming, but that I think anyway. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, so anyway,
all right, cool. So we're gonna now get into. This is a quick clip. This is like 30 seconds, and it's from episode 66. And this was a first.
Oh, okay.
This is the first time we did this, and we did it correctly. Here we go. All right. Well, listen, we're coming towards the end of the show, and we couldn't do the show without.
Now, Tom, who is our first guest, please? Our first guest, ready to leap the first hurdle on his way to the $99,000 answer, is our
courier from Parsippany, New Jersey, Joe Conti.
There we go. There we go. All right, we're back. And that was the first time we did Herb perfectly together. Yes.
Now, John, I can't remember. We never really discussed like saying, listen, Joe, we're both going to say Herb together. We just did it.
We a couple times, because I'm listening to all these episodes, a couple times, like, you would say Herb, and I would say Herb, right? We're doing it, but we didn't really try. We were kind of trying to get it.
Yeah.
This one was the first time
that
we nailed it.
Okay.
We nailed the Herb.
The three of us.
Yes. The three
you,
of us.
me, and Tom.
And Freddie Mercury.
Freddie
Muller. Yeah. And I think the only reason I brought this up was because we had one of our listeners send us a message saying,
like complaining that when our herbs are off, it bothered him. Like, okay.
Well, there you go, pal.
There you go, pal.
A perfect
roll that around your mouth.
Okay. So now we're going to get into our next clip, which is from episode 68.
Wow, we were good in the 60s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man.
We're like the Beatles. We're really good in the 60s.
If you want to listen to a decade of our podcast, listen to the 60s.
And this is from episode 68, and this was our first official one and done.
Oh,
with the intro.
Oh, great.
And here, let me see how long this is. It's like 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Our first official one and done with intro.
When he first says Rachel, everybody just laughs
You're
because
just
it's hysterical. You don't expect that coming. Like we've seen it 3,000 times, but people seeing that for the first time, you just see Gleason. You're ready for Gleason to come in with his line, and you're just going to think it's in the Ralph Cramden voice, and then he hits us with Rachel.
All right. Well, we're gonna do our last thing for today. We're going a little long today, and I know none of the maniacs really are going to complain.
They don't mind.
We're going to do
I don't mind a few pictures.
A few pitches. And this is our it's a new promo for it. It's our one and done of the week.
Yes.
And we used our pal Bruce for the voice, and here it is.
The Honeymooners podcast presents the one and done player of the week.
Nice. It's a weird sound that he gave me too. I kind of liked it. It almost sounded like it was coming from like an AM radio.
Yeah.
And I loved it. So our one and done player of the week is, and you know what? I wanted to do this with this person because we never mentioned him on the day that we were talking about our favorite one and dones.
Yeah.
And we just forgot.
We forgot him.
And it is.
How could we forget?
How could we? And I'll just play it, and you're going to know who the one and done is. It's not Harvey, because you're going to hear Harvey's voice. Here we go.
Well, I see you showed up, wise guy.
Oh, hello, Harvey.
Come on, let's go inside and get started.
Oh, I can't go yet. I'm waiting for a friend.
For a friend.
You ain't backing out, are you, wise guy?
Oh, perish the thought. I'm not backing out. I'm just waiting for a friend who has to show up.
Okay, come on, let's get inside.
I'll be ready for you in a minute. Don't... Hey, what are you doing?
Out of my way, buddy. Hey, get a load of fatso there.
Oh, come on, let's get moving.
Just a moment. What did you say? I said get a load of fatso there. Want to make something out of it?
I certainly do. And let that be a lesson to you.
And of course, it is the great Mike O'Dowd.
Mike O'Dowd.
All right, and we all know the great Mike O'Dowd. He was born on May 10th, 1917, in New York, as John Patrick Moan, M-O-A-N-E. Monet.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. He was obviously an actor, known for Take the Money and Run, Badge 373, and Girl on the Run. He died in September 5th, 1977 in New York, but he was also in...
On the waterfront.
When Louis was like, hey, get a load of fatso guy.
Fatso there. He's in the movie.
So then, of course, for anybody who's been listening for the last 10 or 15 episodes, we find out that one of our regular listener pals and his wife is the granddaughter of the great Mike O'Dowd. So we decided, and so what they did was they called in and gave us a little voicemail, and they played that little moment, the great one and done of Mike O'Dowd, and we wanted to play it again.
I have to play it again
because his granddaughter.
This is just as classic.
It's just a classic. It's better than this. Almost as good as
the original.
Top Hand Dress Pan Dry. It's right up there. And this is our pal. Is it Andrew?
No, Doreen's the wife.
Doreen
Yeah.
and
now you screwed me.
Now I messed it up.
Mark Cerrone.
Yes, that's right.
And Doreen.
Mark and Doreen. So we're going to play it and enjoy it.
Oh, we're going to play it, all right.
Hey, Louie and Joe, it's Mark and Doreen. Like Jackie Gleason, I don't rehearse, so I messed up the first one. So we're going to try to play out the scene of the Bensonhurst Farmer. Here goes nothing. Hey, what are you doing?
Out of my way, buddy. Hey, get a load of fatso there.
Just a moment. What did you say?
I said, get a load of fatso there. I want to make something out of it.
I certainly do. And let that be a lesson to you.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
yes,
my
Mark
God.
and Doreen.
Mark and Doreen, great job.
Thank
Oh,
you.
my
And that
God.
was that. Mike O'Dowd is Doreen's grandfather.
Yes.
And so he is our one and done.
He's our first one and done.
Official. First official one and done character
With the intro
of the day.
with the intro.
With the intro and everything. So the great Mike O'Dowd. He was also a longshore fisherman. For real.
Oh, really?
In
Okay.
real life.
Okay.
Yep. And that would have been, how cool would it have been to meet that dude?
Oh, God, I would have loved
He must have been he was a big guy,
Oh,
obviously,
yeah,
towering.
yeah.
He probably had
Tall, probably had
he probably had a pair of mitts on him.
Wholesale butcher.
A wholesale butcher. All right, we're back. And of course, it's just great. A one and done. And of course, the voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely great that we got that. But now
I got Joe. Just real quick. I sent you a picture too. I saw Mike O'Dowd on an episode of Naked City.
Okay,
which is an old 1960s, early 60s TV series in New York, set in New York. Detectives, regular New York detectives.
Right.
And he just appeared in it. Mike O'Dowd.
It was Mike O'Dowd.
It was Mike O'Dowd. Remember I sent you the picture?
That's right.
Yeah, I did.
Yes. And he looked, he looked like mean. Like he had a mean look on
he
his
was
face.
playing kind of like, he was like a bouncer in a little classy, mobster club.
Right,
right. And he had like that look for it.
Correct.
I mean, if you had anybody had the look, it would be Mike O'Dowd.
Mike O'Dowd, yeah.
And then the other night I was like watching this stupid movie, I Mobster, And who's in it? Lily St. Cyr. I'll take another picture of the TV. I sent it to Joe. Lily St. Cyr, and she's doing her bathtub thing,
which is the whole.
Yeah,
thing
if anybody's
from,
unfamiliar, Lily St. Cyr was a stripper in the 50s and 60s, wherever it was.
Right.
And her whole thing was this bathtub scene, with the bubble bath and the towels,
right.
In a typical striptease format, teasing people.
Correct.
So,
yeah.
And she winds up in this movie, and I sent Joe, and she's doing the bathtub scene.
Which is the thing that Norton says with Thelma.
With Thelma.
Right.
And he says, no, she looks more like the guy that installed the bathtub. So that's Lily St. Cyr, in case anybody just, just refresh everybody's memory.
All right. We have 4 more clips. Okay. And the next 3, first of all, the next 2 really sum up the year.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
They really sum up the year, and then we'll finish up with the last 2, which aren't that long. From episode number 69, it was our one and done with Ken Lynch.
Oh, God.
And this one is, oh, boy. Strap in for this one, kids.
All right.
This is 10 minutes long.
Oh, it's okay.
All right?
Ken Lynch.
Here we go. It's Ken Lynch.
He's worth 10 minutes.
It really is. All right. Check it out from episode number 69, the one and done with Ken Lynch, with a whatever happened to attached to
Oh,
it.
okay. Now.
You probably remember that now.
Now I'm remembering it, yeah.
Here we go.
The Honeymooners podcast presents the one and done player of the week.
All right. Our one and done player of the week this week is Ken Lynch.
Yes.
And I knew it. I'm like, the second one I want to do with the intro had to be Ken Lynch. Because I just thought of how much Louie loves Ken Lynch.
Ken Lynch, the best.
Now, Ken Lynch, obviously, if you're not sure which one Ken Lynch is, here we go.
Ramden?
I don't know anything.
Police department, Mr. Ramden.
I don't know nothing.
Now, look, you're
I don't
in a
know
bad
nothing.
spot, you know that? I'm going to tell you just what I told your pal down at the pool room. Your safety and your life is in danger if you don't give us a description.
I didn't see anything.
These fellas are killers. They shot the night watchman.
I don't know anything.
You don't know anything, huh? All right, I'm going to give you a break. I'm leaving a policeman downstairs to look after you overnight. But if you don't tell us what you know by morning, you're on your own. If you're not a witness, you're not entitled to police protection. And thanks for nothing.
Welcome.
Oh, what a
great character.
It really is.
Oh, man.
And you know what? I never realized how good he was until you really pointed it out.
Yeah.
And Ken Lynch, great character actor.
Yeah.
Born 1910, July 15th, 1910 in Cleveland. Died in 1990. Lou went on IMDb, and he was like, and I was like, Lou, what do you think of synopsis? And he just looks at me and goes, did you write this? I'm like, what?
Unbelievable what it says on here. And I'll just read a little bit.
Read a little bit of it, yeah.
It says, if ever there was an actor born to play a tough Irish cop, it was Ken Lynch. And he played so many of them in his long career that he could probably do it in his sleep. Now, further on down in the description, it says that he appeared in quite a few movies over his career, but he also did an enormous amount of television work, and that's where most probably remembered seeing him, as he turned up on pretty much every cop show, detective show, wait a minute, my thing just went out here, private eye series, cartoon frolics, space shows, and puppetry. No, I just say it better. Said, and private eye series ever made. And it says in parentheses, he even showed up in an episode of the Jackie Gleason comedy series, The Honeymooners, in 1955, as a tough Irish detective.
Tough Irish detective.
So that was Ken Lynch.
If you look at his IMDb, he's in 195 different things.
Wow.
195. From, it looks like his last one was in 1983, and 1947. Started off with something called the Gentleman's Agreement, and then he was even in, remember that show Vegas?
Oh, yeah.
He was in Vegas. Yeah.
Dan Tanner? Dan Tanner was that?
Dan Tanner. He played a guy named Frenchie. And
we'll do one day. And I, even though I'm retired, I rarely watch television during the day. I just don't want to get into that habit. But one day I put the TV on, and what's on? Adam 12. Okay. Who's the crook in the Adam 12? Ken Lynch.
Is he really?
Remember, I took the picture off the TV and sent it to you.
Oh, yes,
Remember?
that's right.
I was like, guess who this is?
That's right.
I know. This is like out of the blue. I put Adam. Who the hell watches Adam 12? And I put it on, and there he is, Ken Lynch.
Yeah. And so he's either he's either going to play a bad guy or a good guy or a cop. Yeah. He's not going to play, some Latin lover.
No, he's not going to be Carlos Sanchez. Really.
Although he could probably dance better.
Yeah,
than
like,
Carlos.
really. I do a South American specialty, the Mamba.
Hey, Mrs. Manicotti, thanks for nothing. But yes, we just the great Ken Lynch.
Yes,
who was in the great episode Trapped, obviously,
Trapped.
And
we'll have to cover it one of these days.
Oh my God! So that is our one and done player. I love that word.
We love player of the week. Man, they are players. They are players.
They are.
The Gleason players.
Yes, the Gleason. Yeah, that's true. So we're going to get into the next thing, which is I knew this is going to be a problem. I can't finding these things.
There's a lot on that board.
Yeah, in the future. Oh my God! This is didn't hit. Oh my goodness! I can't find it. I cannot for the life of me.
Oh, you gotta find it.
I have to.
We're not our production schedule.
One and done. No, not one and done.
No.
There it is. All right. I found
okay,
it.
here we
Thank
go.
Goodness. Whew. All right, here we go.
I hear this about 5 times.
The Honeymooners podcast presents Whatever Happened To. The boys go deep into their shallow minds and try to imagine what would have happened to certain situations in the show if the episode had a to be continued or a part 2. Yeah, I know. Joe and Louie need real jobs. And now here's Whatever Happened To.
Hey, that's my good pal, Joe Fernandez.
Oh, the great Joe Fernandez.
And if you want, Joe Fernandez is a great friend of mine in the comic. If you want to look him up, check out his stuff. It's Joe Fernandez with an
S at the end.
Not a Z.
Portuguese,
exactly. So, we're going to get into Whatever Happened To.
Yeah.
And this
we haven't done this in a long time.
We haven't done this in a while. Yes, when
time.
you said that today, I'm like, this is great because we have not done this in a while. And it's from the episode Better Living Through Television. And it's the scene where Ralph is trying to convince Ed $200, trying to get him with the handy housewife thing.
Helper, yeah.
And here is the part.
We can't lose.
Can't lose, huh?
Can't lose, huh?
That's what you said when we bought that parking lot next to the space where they're building up the movie house there. You said people that go to the movies gotta have a place to park their car.
How did I know they were building a drive-in theater?
Okay.
Now.
I love this Whatever Happened To.
All right,
okay, go ahead.
All right, now first of all, they buy this lot. Supposedly a parking lot.
Correct.
In Brooklyn, which today is probably worth like $3 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, how don't you know the difference between where they're building a drive-in and a movie house? A movie house is just a little building, especially back then. It was you're just a building on the block, where a drive-in theater is acres, and it's got to be out somewhere. You're not going to put a drive-in in the middle of a city street. It's not going to be like on Kosciuszko Street. You know, it's going to be out somewhere in the
right.
Brooklyn,
it's not going to be
maybe
right next to Hong Kong Gardens.
Yeah, it'd be all the way out in Canarsie.
Right next. Probably. But the Whatever Happened To is your great observation of the Whatever Happened To.
Yeah, it's the parking lot. What happened to it? Do they still own it? Did they sell it? Are they still paying taxes on it? They could have went into the parking lot business. I mean, I don't know.
They could have went to the parking lot business.
I don't know. Oh my God.
And it's great. I mean, really. I mean, can you imagine what they would have had? Yeah. And where did he get the money to buy a
That's a parking lot. You're buying real estate. This isn't buying like the happy hand you housewife helper.
Right,
a couple $100.
Yeah.
You're buying real estate.
Yeah. You're renting this piece of crap apartment.
Yeah.
But you
just bought a lot in Brooklyn. We're assuming it's in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah,
they never say, but we'll
you have to assume it was Brooklyn.
assume Brooklyn.
Which of course is the setup to the great show. Which is a fun. I was a drive-in theater.
Yeah, I know it was a drive-in theater. Theater. And nobody thinks it. Everybody just laugh because it's funny. It's funny, but
of course,
only us 65 years later are going to delve into. Wait a minute now.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Technically, this is incorrect.
But yeah, you can imagine. It's like, could you put something on there?
Yeah, really.
Something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I wish they had it today. What that thing must be worth. Where
Brooklyn?
Brooklyn's regentrified, like almost the whole. I mean, obviously there's some bad spots, but the regentrification going on in Brooklyn now.
The Cramden's grandkids?
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. They'd be living in the lap of
luxury.
And their furniture. Can you
the
imagine
furniture,
what
that furniture look like in their Park Avenue apartment?
In that Park Avenue apartment. It'd be beautiful.
Going out in the summertime on their motorboat with 3 propellers. the Cramden kids would be living it up.
Yeah, maybe he could have got a bathtub so he wouldn't have to go to Fred's gasoline
station.
Take a bath.
Maybe. Well, they don't have kids. Oh, wait a minute.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
That's right. Alice's nieces and nephews.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Whooping it up.
That's true. But what a funny.
It's just
whatever happened.
Whatever happened. Like,
I mean, that's a big thing there.
Yeah, you're talking real estate.
Yeah, this isn't he bought a transistor radio and what happened to it.
Joe, even in the Lost episodes, there's like 2 instances where they buy something. One is the hot dog stand in Jersey.
And
the other one where they buy that hotel. They were going to buy that building, and it's like this dilapidated building, and they're going to turn it into.
Like, they were going to do it. They were going to flip a hotel.
Flip a hotel. Yeah,
they were flipping back before anybody else.
Yeah, before the HGTV.
Before the HGTV.
For 3D TV. But think about that. What happened to those things too?
Yeah, exactly.
This hot dog stand goes south.
Hey, Ralphie, I was looking for a house. I was looking for something with a little character. Open concept.
They got stuck with a lot of real estate in their life.
Yeah. I know, for guys that had nothing. But it was funny, man.
Yeah,
just
funny.
Just a parking lot.
It's the parking lot. It's funny. We think it's Brooklyn. We're going to say it's Brooklyn.
All right, we're back.
No, Joe, was so funny about that when we said whatever happened to, and we went to the TV or not TV. And I guess everybody you normally think, the first thing you're going to think is whatever happened to the handy housewife helper.
Right.
But we threw him a curveball.
Yeah, exactly.
Which made that bit funnier, I think.
I think so.
Because that would have been too obvious. Like, what happened to the...
Right, which we did. I actually made a video of it. I forgot about this, but I think I'm going to make this into a video.
Yeah, we did that, too. We did mention the handy housewife helpers, but that's the obvious.
Correct.
We didn't go for the obvious.
Right.
And it came out 1,000 times funnier by going to the secondary thing.
Yeah, and I think this with more like DEFCON 3s would get because they're going to know it. But look, once you understand what we're talking about, it's funny.
Yes,
it's just funny.
Yes, it is.
So I just love.
Until you met you tied it into the Lost episodes where he buys the hot dog stand
in Jersey.
In Jersey, he buys the
hotel.
The hotel.
I forgot if that was in Jersey or not.
Yeah,
but
a lot of things were in Jersey, and he also bought. They also bought a bungalow up in I believe like in the Catskills or something. Utica on the way to Utica on Route 17. But they did buy a lot of things,
right? Which of course they were trying.
Oh, the house! I think they bought a house in Queens too.
Really?
Yeah, in the Lost episode, they bought a house in Queens, and Norton was supposed to move in.
Huh?
It was a 2-family. Yeah, I believe.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's also in the Lost episode.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Besides the hotel, maybe
the hotel
I'm getting those confused.
Yeah,
like maybe the one I'm mixing them up.
It could be, but there was more than 2 instances where they bought things.
Yeah,
a lot of real estate. That all tanked.
$75.
As I say,
playing around.
Boy, went a long way in those days. Now I can't even fill my tank up.
All right, so we are down to our last 3 clips. Okay, we're coming towards the end. Now, episode 70.
The 70s now.
I know, we're in the 70s. And this is our very first And you know what? Because I don't think we had the intro for it, so I want to play the intro for it. And let me see the intro for the. Here it is.
Okay.
The Honeymooners podcast presents the many faces
And thanks for nothing.
of Ken Lynch.
All right. This was our first installment of the many faces of Ken Lynch. And here we go. The next thing we want to do. We don't have an intro for it or anything yet. This is a brainchild from Louis.
Yeah, Joe's gonna have to explain this.
I'm explaining it, but it kind of happened from last week.
Yeah, just out of the blue.
Out of the blue, because we were doing our second one and done character, right? And last week's character was Ken Lynch.
Yes.
And Ken Lynch, of course, is the detective in Trapped. You know, like, hey, thanks for nothing.
Now everybody knows that line. If we say
Everybody
Ken
knows
Lynch,
that.
you may not
You may
know
not
it.
know, but everybody
once
knows.
We say thanks for nothing.
For nothing.
That's everybody knows who that guy is.
Everybody knows Ken Lynch. So, and while we were talking about Ken Lynch, we were having a little fun. And somehow I said, he never, I think what it was is we were talking about him playing all these different characters. And it was always either a cop or a bad guy. And I think we said something like he was never a Latin lover. And then Louis went off on him
being
as
Carlos
Sanchez. So we decided we'll give it a little dry run here. We're going to see how it goes.
See if you like it or you don't like it.
And we'll see what kind of a name we can come up with. But we figured we would do Ken Lynch as another character from the show.
So, and this week's character is Ken Lynch as Wallace.
And Wallace, of course, is George Burns' son, Ronnie Burns, who's got the big W
on him. He's like super atomic passion.
Yeah, super
he's like
atomic.
he's
What
like
would
the
Ken
he's like the
Lynch be
hep
doing?
kid. Ken Lynch as Wallace. Hey, I'm here to pick up Judy. She ready? What magazines? What the hell are you talking about magazines? I'm here for the broad downstairs.
Hey, what do you mean? I got a hot rod.
I got a hot rod.
percolating downstairs.
Right, percolating, and I'm double parked.
Man, what do you mean bakery? She's not a cake. She's a chick. What are you, crazy? She's a chick. She's Ken Lynch as Wallace is just great. Hey,
coming in with that stupid hat on.
With the hat on,
and the
yeah.
W, with the
With the big
sweatshirt,
W
the
on
big
it
W
for Wallace,
Wallace.
right? Scoodala wah, 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 wah.
Oh, that's too much.
Oh, I'm here for Judy. Is Judy here?
Yeah, Judy here.
Oh, Wallace, yes. It's my, what does he say to her? Wear her pin?
Tonight's going to wear my badge. Give her my badge. NYPD detective.
Hey, I got my patrol car downstairs.
Ryan, I'm ready to percolate.
That would be so funny.
This is funny.
Ken Lynch.
We like it, so this is staying.
Yeah, this is staying. We're going to be doing this for a while. If anybody has any ideas on what we can call this,
yeah, help us
but
out.
it'll just be Ken Lynch doing all these
whatever.
different characters. Yeah. That is funny, Lou. That to me, home run.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 30 seconds, a minute, or 5 minutes. It's staying.
We're gonna we'll get a Swanee River intro for it.
You know, just
Swanee River intro for Ken Lynch.
Maybe we'll find a Swanee River that's kind of like a jazzy.
Yeah, a little jazzy. Oh, they got them.
Okay,
oh, yeah,
that's
on there.
we'll have to
I'll
do a
get one,
jazzy
yeah.
river that.
Yeah.
That'll be a little bit more towards the liking of a Ken Lynch character.
Ken Lynch character.
Yeah. That is fantastic.
We're going to the crazy house. A bop dance contest.
She's a chick. What do you mean?
Ain't no cake. Hell.
Yeah, thanks, Judy, for nothing. Oh, my God. That is funny, dude. That is funny. All right, we're back, and that is fantastic.
Was really good.
That is our first Ken Lynch. Many Faces of Ken Lynch.
Many Faces of Ken Lynch.
And then we put the new intro.
Yeah,
we
Joe
played it now.
spliced that
it's
intro
our friend Cap.
Yeah, a great
who
Cap
does all these impressions.
Yeah,
and for him to do, would you have him do like
Bogart?
He had him do Bogart.
Yeah. Dusty out in that hall.
Dusty out in that hall.
Like Joe says, he does impressions of dead people.
Yeah. He doesn't do any impressions of anybody that's been alive in the last 35 years. But you know what was one great thing that was so funny in there was at one point, and I love your impression of Ken Lynch. At some point, I'm just going to write down what to say and just hand it to you because you do the voice so great. Is when you said, "Can you imagine him with that stupid hat on?" Then all of a sudden, it became a visual.
Yeah,
because all I'm doing is thinking audio. Yeah, you're thinking of what he sounds like, and for that one moment, I'm thinking what Ken Lynch would look like with a giant W
on
and his stupid hat.
Ridiculous hat.
You know what I mean, Ralph? And like, aren't you a little too old for her?
It's so anti Ken Lynch.
Yes,
him wearing that hat. Because,
yes,
you know the Wallace character, and well, that's what makes it funny because it just does not fit.
It does not,
and that's
fit.
the whole thing. It's Ken Lynch playing people. He doesn't fit.
And almost every one of them, except for the Thelma one, which we did, he doesn't.
He doesn't fit anybody. Yeah, Thelma he fit a little bit because we actually said that.
Yeah,
they were.
She's like a female version of him,
Ken Lynch. Yeah. But that's the funny part of the skit is that he doesn't fit any of those parts.
It is,
and that's what makes it funnier.
Hilarious.
That's what makes it. We loved it. We
absolutely
loved that
hilarious.
And Joe, how did it come about? By you just saying. He wouldn't. This is previous.
He would.
I can't.
We heard it on this.
We heard it on here saying I can't.
Can't picture him being a Latin lover. And that's when you.
And then I picked up on it. We made him as Carlos.
And I forget what he said. He did a Carlos line.
A Carlos line. and a skid is born.
And exactly. All right. We only got 2 more clips left. All right, and at this point, I was just exhausted. I've been doing this for like 2 weeks, coming in, finding clips, and then
Joe put a lot of work into this.
But
he did
these last 2.
So send him a bottle of hot sauce.
Yes. So these last 2,
the cherry sriracha because you got that free.
Yes. Yeah, really. I'm sick of the cherry sriracha. All right. This one is from episode 77, and this is a lot of fun. This was another first.
Okay.
And this actually doesn't have anything to do with the show itself.
All right.
This was us playing around with our sponsor. Enjoy.
Oh, okay.
Enjoy. And of course, before we get started, we want to thank and also talk about our one and only sponsor.
That's right.
Silk City Hot Sauce.
Hot sauce, you're here.
Great hot sauce. It really is. I mean, you can ask anybody, and they're going to say the same thing.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They're just going to stay. You're going to ask them for the second time, and they're going to be like,
Hey, stuff was great. It was very good. Yeah.
And I mean, and Lou, you love it.
I love it.
And what do you love about it?
Badass Jew, I loved hot.
Yep.
I like the other ones, the sweeter ones, the newer ones, the sweeter ones, the one with the mango in it.
Yes.
And the one
Slurp.
that you like
Slurp, I love that. Yep.
And I also still like the Aztec Attack. Smoking, I love. Love them all.
Smoking, I'm telling you, the Slurp.
I never tasted anything like it before.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's a
commercial.
Yeah, it's great, you know. But listen, if you got to go and get it.
Yeah,
it's our
good
pal
stuff.
Jeff Kingfish Levinsky's place. It's homemade. It's
the most delicious you've ever tasted.
It really is.
I can't disagree there. I use it for other things too, Joe. I used it for a marinade.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. I used it partially to marinate some pork. I used the one with the mango. I forgot the name of the one with the mango in it. Gave it a nice marinade, too. And
Mango Madness, I think it is.
Mango Madness? Okay,
Yep.
that's what it is. All right, so I used that one. It was actually good. Made a good marinade. Yeah.
Very good.
I'm going to start writing a
And I'm telling. And listen, for any of you that may be on a little diet or something,
How can this harm you? It's homemade.
it's homemade. So listen, what you do is you go to Silk. You bring a batch of it and you bring it to your boss, right? And you try. You get him to taste it. But what you do is go to SilkCityHotSauce.com, right? Get yourself some great homemade sauce.
Yeah.
Right? It's great. It's, of course, right?
How can this harm you? It's homemade.
It's homemade stuff, right? Of course. And what you do is get yourself some great homemade hot sauce. Then when you go to purchase, in the coupon corner, I think it's in the upper right-hand corner, there is a little coupon code thing, and you put RX in it, and it gets you 15% off of your order, and it gets you a 15% percentage.
Right, let's be clear.
And I'm sorry. And with that, you get a free bottle of cherry sriracha. SilkCityHotSauce.com. Do it now. All right? Because,
It's the most delicious you've ever tasted in your life.
And I'm not going to get too into it. I don't want to ruin it the first time we have this. They'll be like, all right, enough of this. All right, we're back. All right. That was the first time we started using the clips.
Joe, I want to tell you something. It's listening to this. Like I said, we don't listen to these things together. It's really funny.
It really is.
I have to say,
Yeah, sometimes I forget how good the show is.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, I'm not very good at patting myself on the back for anything.
No, there's not a lot of self-esteem in this room. I'll tell you that right now. If we're lacking something, it's self-esteem.
Yes. and when I went through all of them, and I would write down, like, this is funny, this is funny. I mean, we have one more clip left. That's it. But I had another 7 that I just said I can't do it. We'll be here for days.
Right.
But yeah, so it really is. I'm starting to understand when people who never heard of the podcast find me on Twitter or find us on Facebook and say, I never knew about this, and they're obviously huge fans of the show itself, and they go, we absolutely love it. Because I'm always like, yeah, they like it?
Yeah.
And then now, because we're not just listening to it as we did it and then just listening to it the next day, because what happens is, and I think you'll agree, when I do this with this show or my other show that I did for years, the Conti and Kenny show, which we're supposed to do again, but whenever I would listen to it, I never listened to it to enjoy it. I listened to it to go, all right, let me hear what I'm doing here so I can try to get better.
Like critiquing yourself. You're listening in a different way. You're not looking for, well, you actually, hopefully you're funny, but you're not looking for the comedy. You're looking for the content.
Yes. And you're looking to say, can I do this better? Like, what am I doing? I'm stammering. I'm this. And it's like when I watch, especially in the beginning of doing stand-up, you don't think I watched myself record myself because I loved looking at myself. It's like I want to, and I would find myself doing these things that were not productive, and then you try to fix them. Right. But now I wasn't doing that with this. No, I was listening
enjoying
to find some fun.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I was actually enjoying it. Me and Louie, like you said, this is the first time we're ever listening to this together. And we had the mics down, but we were laughing.
I was actually laughing.
We were actually laughing. And that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Listen, I can laugh at myself, but when you're laughing at what you did, it's good.
Different, and it's wow.
So I actually appreciate the love that you guys give us even more, because I'm like, wow, these guys aren't full of crap.
Yeah.
They're not just fans of the Honeymooners. They actually like the show because the show's good.
And we've said this before during everybody knows spontaneity is our thing.
Correct.
We don't write things down. We may jot a little thing down here.
We have
and there.
different topics we want to talk about.
Then you just jot it down
and we go.
so we don't forget. But then there's always time after the show, and sometimes me and Joe would say to each other like the following, like, "Oh, gee, I should have said this at this point, and I didn't. I blew it." And that's what you do.
And exactly.
That's the critiquing of yourself. So
yes.
Today we just sat back and enjoyed it.
And just enjoyed it.
And
we were laughing.
We were actually laughing.
Actually laughing. So now that brings us to our last clip of this episode, and the last clip from 2020.
Okay.
All right. And this is from episode 82.
Wow.
And look, there was more because we ended up going to 87, but I stopped at this one only because it was another first and a first of many to come. And this is an absolute doozy. I love it. I love the fact that we're doing this now every week.
Yeah.
We didn't do one this week.
No. Today we're just
and
special show.
I think Louis already knows what it is.
Oh God, yeah.
And
it's like one of the only thing today I knew what it is. And it took us to the last clip for me to actually know what it is.
Exactly. And here it is, and it's our first full-grown nut of the week. Here we go.
Let me tell you something, people.
Yeah.
This is historic.
Yeah. This is our first time doing this.
Yes. This is historic.
This is the inauguration. The inaugural.
And Joe, on our Carney's birthday, we didn't even plan
I didn't even plan this.
See, things work out better when we don't plan things.
Yeah, exactly.
This happens on our
Carney's birthday,
so it makes
not
it more
because
significant.
we didn't try it. It just happened to be.
We weren't ready last week.
We weren't ready last week for it. So, and here we go.
This is it.
Verily, the Honeymooners podcast knights the full-grown nut of the week. Aren't you lucky?
All right. Well, it is our first
Joe, this is our first
inductee into full-grown nut of the week.
Now, how this works is we just don't. This has to go to committee.
Yes.
This goes to the board of nuts. Before you get selected. And there's a lot of things you have to check off here to be. We just don't pick anybody as full-grown nut of the week, especially the first full-grown.
It's got to be somebody special.
Yeah, somebody special.
Somebody who's been around the block.
Yes. Should we mention his name first and then do all his credits, or do
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our first. Oh God!
And let me tell you something. I'll say this right now, and I'm sure he's going to appreciate when I say this. It couldn't be more fitting for nut.
Nut, because when me and Joe speak of this man, when we're going back and forth talking about an email, or we prephrase his name by saying that full-grown nut.
Yes,
and then
we mean that in the most endearing way.
Here you are. Are you ready out there?
Here we go.
Ira.
From Florida. Yep.
Our first
full-grown nut of the week.
And he's more than deserving.
Yeah.
First of all, he's from Canarsie.
Yes, he's from Canarsie.
How can you get somebody from Canarsie? We got this nut from Canarsie. He also is great. He argues with us even when he agrees with us. So, I mean, that's really a nutdom right there.
And he also... we actually named an episode.
Yeah.
One of episode number 13. If you guys go back and look, and it's called Seriously Guys, Another Stinker. And that was something that
he used to say.
Ira said to us about the previous episode.
In our formative years.
So he let us have it, and we decided, because me and Louie, we're going to embrace anything, whether it's positive or negative. We decided to call that episode Seriously Guys, Another Stinker. And that was from Ira.
He's an original listener.
Yes.
So that's why he used to say, "Really, your guy, another stinker." But Joe, when we informed him,
absolutely,
when we informed this was his reaction.
Gonna be, ooh, ooh.
We're like, seriously.
Gonna be, ooh, ooh.
And then he calmed down.
Joe calmed him down.
I calmed him down. And then I was like, "Are you okay?" And he was like,
You know, I wonder, am I worthy of such an honor?
So, Ira, buddy, congratulations.
And we're going to email you.
Certificate. And it's
Dusty out in that hall. Yeah, that's where we got to get the certificate in the hallway. It's a certificate from the Honeymooners podcast.
Yeah.
Full-grown nut of the week.
Full-grown nut of the week.
And we're working on getting the certificate done.
Yes.
And then we'll just email.
We'll email it to you,
Look,
and you can print
if
it
you
down.
want, I'm sure it's just easier to email it.
It is.
And
then you
just
just print it down.
Exactly.
You know, and we know in him, he'll take a picture, and he will show everyone in Raccoondom that he is the first official full-grown nut of the week.
Right next to all the names of the guys who are in arrears at the moment. Yeah. But congratulations.
Congratulations, Ira, buddy.
You know what? You couldn't have a more what's the word when somebody's almost controversial?
Yes.
Because,
yeah.
listen, it's been a bumpy road, all right? Me and Ira went after me on Facebook when we first started doing this. Some crazy, I don't know, it was about politics or something, and I'm like, who is this guy? And then, like, the next day, he's like, I love you guys' show, blah, blah, blah. And then and also, Ira we've quoted him before saying we're actually really, really taking this to heart. Mm-hmm. He says, you guys will never run out of material.
That was his words. He said that.
His words.
His words.
And when he said that, I'm thinking, this guy's a nut. Which would fitting, of course.
Brings us to this week.
But it makes sense because we're constantly evolving.
Yep.
And, of course, with the help of all of you other nuts who will eventually become
full-grown nut of the week.
Full-grown nut of the week, yes.
I know all you people are out there in suspenders waiting for next. Can't wait for next week to see who the second one.
So we want to congratulate Ira from Florida for being our first full-grown nut of the week. And you are worthy, Ira.
You are worthy,
as much as it pains me to say.
Joe.
It pains me
to say this.
Actually, I do like it.
He does like it.
So congratulations.
And Ira understands. He understands.
Yes, he does. All right.
Great.
All right. And we're back. That was it. That was the final clip for this I guess you would call it 2021 revisited.
Yeah, revisited
something like that. We'll figure out the title of it. But that was, of
year
course,
in review.
Yeah, year in review or something like that. Yeah. Absolutely. And that was, of course, Ira doing our full-grown nut of the week.
Yes. Oh God.
Yeah, which we've done now. I think 4 or 5.
I think we did 5.
5.
Yeah,
yep.
I think we've done 5.
And we'll continue to do that. And then hopefully starting next week, we'll get back into a regular rotation. Yeah. And
with our regular format.
We'll do a regular format with something extremely special that we're going to be doing.
Oh man, major announcement.
Yeah,
major announcement.
And you can't. I'm not telling you. So, but it will thrill everyone. Everybody, especially us.
Yes.
So that's it. Episode number 87. 87. Who can we thank? First of all, not even going to read my script. Thank you, all of you guys. Everybody from Ira to Doreen and Mark and the other Mark and Bibbs and I mean, there's so many of
Kevin
you.
And everybody.
So you guys have been
Norm. I mean, you guys have been great.
I mean, you guys have helped us and made this show even better than we could make it by ourselves. And we really, really thank you guys. And we love you guys.
Yeah,
we do.
We do.
We really do. We appreciate everything you guys do. The fact that you tell your friends, you really do. I'll get stories, like, my brother-in-law, I told him about the show.
Oh, he loves it now. Yeah,
it's fantastic.
We feel comfortable with our audience, Joe. I mean, I think they feel comfortable with us because we don't put on any airs that we're like, we're high and mighty honeymooner people. We always say we probably be out there know more than we do.
No, but we're just more talented.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And we have microphones. So.
And a recorder.
And a recorder. It's a recorder.
So what can we do? And just say thanks to Silk City Hot Sauce, of course. All of you guys who listen, who email, comment on Facebook, and some of you special pals like we just mentioned.
Yep.
Don't forget to share with your friends on social media, either some of the videos or episodes. We really appreciate that. And we want to also thank the Facebook group, the Honeymooners Raccoon Lodge with Joy and Brother Norton. And if you want to check out my 1-hour comedy album, it's called Happiness. You can download it anywhere you get your music or comedy. If you want to go to Patreon and support the show, just go to non-productive.com/honeymooners. Click on any of the episodes, scroll down to the bottom, and boom, you can just help out there. Maybe maybe donate a little bit. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have to be a lot. It could be just
I suppose I can put you down for the usual buck. Huh?
Just a last minute clip.
Throw that one in there.
So for Louie and I, we say 87 in the books. Thank you. And our 2021 revisited We thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Night all.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
We'll have to do this again real soon.
How about tomorrow night?
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.